Hey, this is John Carlos, and I am here with a look at the Hot Toys 6-scale figure of Vision from WandaVision. One thing I appreciate is that the outer sleeve has a kind of textured matte to it, but it still has some sections that are glossy. One thing that surprised me about this packaging is just how wide it is. For like a single figure, I was expecting it to be a little more narrow, especially considering that I don't think it comes with that many accessories. That's a lot of real estate. Now I know why the box is so wide. Well, I'll just say this up front. I like it. It's a good figure with some nice details to it. Not a lot of accessories, but he doesn't really need a lot of accessories. It is worth noting, though, that the length of his cape is longer than like his shoulders to his feet, so it does kind of stick out a bit. But hopefully when I put him on the base, that won't be a problem anymore. Let's just zoom right on in to the costume, because there's some great details on this costume as far as the texture goes. Here you can just see not only like the kind of purplish design along the bodysuit, but here's a closer look at just some like the ribbed texture on it. All these little kind of rectangles all have a little texture to them, which is great. Details on the boots are very nice. I like the gold paint along the edges of them, along with the little gold highlights like that little bit right there. His hands and his little arm cuffs are well done. And then the head, like again, there's not much to describe with his body, but the head looks good. The head looks quite good. I definitely see the likeness. In particular, I really like the eyes. But yeah, the whole sculpt of the head looks really, really great. It's great that Vision has a very artificial robo head, because you don't have to worry about how lifelike it looks, because he himself does not look very human and lifelike. But the details in the nose, the mouth, the eyebrows, it's all really, really good, including the little chest thing there. It is worth noting, even though the articulation on this is pretty strong, there is no bottom neck joint. You just have the one ball joint in the head. And considering how stiff the neck is and how wide the neck is compared to the hole at the base of his head, you actually can't get the widest range of motion in his head. Now here's a closer look at his cape, just so you can see some of the pattern on the back. It is a wired cape along the sides, which I appreciate, but I do like the folds that they've put within this cape. There's, like pleating or whatever you want to call it going along the sides here, but the pattern looks good, the cape looks good. Accessories include this base, which include the WandaVision logo and what appears to be a Vision emblem on the top. One little thing that's disappointing about the base / figure stand is the fact that the C-clamp is designed to only rest at the top of the pole. You can see here by how thick this little bit is right here, it prevents it from going down. I like when the C-clamp can slide down the pole so that it can grip the figure by the waist here and help them stand. But if you were to do that with this figure, if this could somehow slide down, you'd have still this bunch of the pole sticking up, poking the cape out. It would look terrible. I get why the C-clamp is designed to be up there, so he could be in a flying pose, and I get that. I just wish maybe that they had included two bendy poles. This one and then a shorter one for a flying pose, and then one for like a standard standing on the stand waist grip. Well, the other accessories included are these open palm hands and these closed fist hands, and as usual, a pair of wrist pegs. Lastly, we have this backdrop, which looks like the hex from WandaVision that we saw in a lot of the key art for the show. Here's just a closer look at the artwork here. You can see some of the purple, kind of like TV lines going through. There are 2 layers to this, including this clear section here, so you can see that secondary section in the back. So here's the figure suspended in the air. I've switched out the right hand with a fist, the left hand with the kind of open palm. And I gotta say, this figure looks really good up in kind of a flying pose. Something about just like the build of his chest, it just looks like a good flying type figure. It is worth noting though that even suspended up in the air, you can see here how much this clamp does kick out the cape, which I think looks kind of dumb from the side, but from the front, you don't even really notice. One thing worth pointing out is just the fact that because of the nature of this rubbery jumpsuit, the way it pinches and bends can be fine in the short term, but I'd be concerned with leaving your figure posed with their arms or legs bent over a long period of time. I think it could damage the suit. If you're displaying the figure in a flying pose with the arm attached to the base, the figure will be floating above the display background quite a bit. The display background is clearly meant to match the figure's height when it's just standing on the base, which just adds to me wishing that they included a shorter arm for gripping the figure on the stand. That being said though, I quite like this figure a lot. The detail on the suit is excellent. The likeness in the face is awesome. I think the face sculpt is excellent. Just a few accessories, not a lot, but you know what? Doesn't need a lot of accessories, so that's fine. Now, I don't have the previous Vision that came out several years ago, but I do remember seeing it, and I remember not being thrilled by like the rectangular blockiness of like the abs. I think the musculature on this one is way better. I am very satisfied by this figure. I think it's pretty awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure, and if you want to be up to date with all my latest reviews, be sure to click subscribe.